What do you do if you want to sell to businesses and consumers at the same time? How do you market to one without alienating the other? Today, I'm going to be talking about a comment I received in the Smarter Mail Facebook group. If you want to join, I'll leave a link down below. We talk about marketing tips and share knowledge and all that great stuff. If you're a small business, definitely recommend checking it out. My wife and later myself have run a B2B, business to business, wholesale business for 21 years, and just over 5 years ago, we expanded to include a B2C retail side to the business through setting up a Neato store. It has helped significantly grow our business, but also presents some interesting marketing situations that require different approaches. I would be interested in seeing you produce a video that looks at the challenges of running a business that caters both to B2B and B2C customers, and how to avoid alienating and annoying either type of customer in your promotions and marketing. So let's talk first about the differences between B2B and B2C. So B2B, business to business, you're usually dealing with a longer relationship. It might take a couple months for a business to make a decision on whether or not they want to make your purchase, and you'll also have to be answering more questions. It's going to be a much more engaged buying cycle compared to consumers, where it's normally just a couple of seconds they need to make a decision on whether or not to make a purchase, depending on what the purchase is. If they're buying a motorbike, might take a little longer than a couple seconds, but if they're buying a lamp, who knows, that'll only take a minute or two. Another key difference is that if you're dealing with a consumer, they only want to buy one motorbike. If you're dealing with a business, they want to buy 1,000 motorbikes. So the B2B relationship is generally a lot longer, there's a lot more trust involved. A downside though is that there's less businesses than there are consumers. So you've got a larger pool to take money from. If you're selling to consumers, there's just less businesses out there. So the reason why relationships are so important with B2B businesses is that you're often sharing schedules, you're often working tightly together to make sure everyone's happy in the deal. It's just a longer term relationship compared to a consumer, which is generally pretty transactional. The customer decides that they want to make the purchase all by themselves, and all you have to do is facilitate the transaction. So the old school thought process goes, you can't market B2B and B2C at the same time, because you'll just find a middle ground that won't really appeal to either. And that is true, especially if you're dealing with traditional marketing, such as Facebook ads, Instagram ads, LinkedIn ads. These are the platforms that you should be utilizing for B2B marketing. Yes, Facebook. Yes, Facebook. An example of this is something like if you're selling to a consumer, you're going to want to deal with emotions and impulses. If you're dealing with a business, you might want to push it a little bit harder on how professional and trustworthy you are and how you always have the best prices. You don't want to focus too much on pricing when it comes to consumers, because the truth is, as a small business, you can't compete with Amazon and stuff like that. So a race to the bottom doesn't do anyone any good. But you can kind of do this with businesses because you're dealing with such a large quantity of items. It's a good idea to split up your marketing campaign with B2B and B2C. So maybe, for example, you market B2B on LinkedIn and you market B2C on Instagram. And each of these ads have a different focus. LinkedIn's ads focus more on the relationship you have with your other clients, focus on how you have the cheapest prices. But on Instagram, where you sell to consumers, you can focus more about the cool new product that you have and how it has helped you in your everyday life. And it doesn't even have to be as well produced, because on Instagram, authenticity matters, as I've talked about in a previous video, I'll link up here. So the marketing strategy needs to be different if we're talking about advertising. But let's talk about a brand new way of thinking about this. H to H marketing, human to human marketing. And this is where we can throw all of that out the window. So ways of doing this is talking like an actual person when it comes to your copy, when it comes to your emails. Just talk like a normal person. Professional, of course, but not robotic. You can also embrace your shortcomings, being super transparent about what your product won't do. I know this seems sort of counterintuitive as a business, but especially when it comes to business marketing, you don't want to waste anyone's time. These are long relationships you're looking at. So being transparent about what kind of product you are and what kind of product you aren't will definitely help a business decide whether or not you're a good fit. I would argue that relationships are pretty important still when it comes to marketing to consumers, because you want the consumer to come back to you after their initial purchase. So how do you nurture a relationship with a consumer? Well, you send them birthday emails. You make educational content for them on your blog. You make YouTube videos showing them a behind-the-scenes tour of your workstation. Do any of these strategies seem like they would not fit into a business-to-business marketing strategy? Do you think a business would also want to see behind the scenes of your factory or receive a happy birthday email? I think those strategies would work in both situations. So now we're not even necessarily talking about marketing anymore. We're talking about brand building. We're creating content that people want to view all by themselves because you're offering something of value. For example, if you're interested in marketing tips and advice, subscribe to this channel. And to take it a step further, if you want to up your email marketing game, download the Smarter Mail app down below. That's the whole reason we have this channel. It's a nice educational resource, but it's also to build our brand. And now that we've talked about how consumers and businesses aren't so different after all, let's once again separate them into two separate categories because they should be treated differently. So for example, a welcome email that they get when they sign up for your email list should be different depending on whether or not they're a consumer or a business. For example, a business should probably be a little less aspirational, probably maybe less design elements. When you're sending a welcome email to a consumer, it can have those design elements and you can build your brand a bit more with inspirational quotes. With both emails though, you should definitely be spelling out your brand's values. This is all brand indoctrination and it's really important. So this has been a confusing video. I'm telling you that you can market to both at the same time through brand building, and I'm also telling you to keep them separate in certain circumstances. I think the key to this is understanding what medium you're using. If you're using YouTube, if you're using a blog, this is content that can be digested by anyone. If you're using advertisements, the nature of advertisements is to target someone specifically. In that case, the content you're making should be specifically for the audience you intend to market it to. I think that covers it. It's a beautiful day. I'm gonna go have a beer. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you want more content. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.